So let's talk winter prep. And I love disaster prep. I have since third grade, and it's a long time special interest of mine. And let's talk about winter prep and safety that I've learned living in the Midwest for 12 years. Because I used to live in SoCal, and now I live in the Midwest. I'm not going to say where for security reasons, but those that know me, you know, but don't say it out loud. Anyways, um, I actually moved from I live in the high desert where winters were similar to where I live now, but here it's more wet climate. You get dumped on more. And boy, have we done that. And we got lots more coming tomorrow. So, first of all, you're probably at the point where you've had to put everything away from summer, like garden hoses, yard art, sprinklers, all kinds of stuff. Everybody's got different stuff for that. So, if it's gonna be damaged by the cold, put it away. Also, don't have a plastic bucket outside in the cold when it's below freezing. I did this with the mop bucket. I shot through the bucket and destroyed it. I didn't know that because it took me a huge learning curve living in the winters here. Next thing, make sure if you have animals or outside cats like I do, have two kinds of salt for your drive and for out back if you feed feral cats like we do. You want pet safe for the animals, like cats, and if you have cats or dogs or any animals that live outside or go in and out, you want the pet safe stuff. You can get that at any hardware store. If you're in the Midwest, most likely you have Menards, so that's an option too. My favorite hardware store. Then for your driveway, you want the other salt, as long as no animals will go on it. You want to make sure your pets don't go on that one because it'll burn their paws. And you want to clear a path for your delivery person because you don't want falls because, some could try to hold you liable, others might not. But we like to take everybody's safety in consideration along with our steps and our sidewalk. Keep a blanket and kitty litter in your car. And I say kitty litter because kitty litter works like gravel when you're stuck. It'll create friction to help unstick you. Keep flares in your car and you should have those in year round. Now they have ones that light up. You don't have to use the flame ones. They just call it that because it's an old-fashioned term. And keep those handy in each vehicle if you have more than one like we do. Keep a fire extinguisher in your car too in case of something happening or an accident, because some accidents do that. And if you have a hybrid, even more so. Although I don't know how effective a hybrid, if it did have that happen, it would be put out because of the type of battery it has, because it could be the kind that are hard to deal with. Keep a first aid kit in your car too. Just have your basic essentials, just your basic essentials that you would have, like your bandages, rescue breathing equipment if needed, your just ice. I don't know about ice packs, but just your usual stuff. And a tourniquet's good to have in case if you're a medical professional or first responders like my parents have been. That's tourniquets, if you have one or something you could use, that's good to have in case of somebody having a injury that requires it for major bleeding, because it could save someone's life. That's if you know how to use one. You could, if you're a professional, know how to use one. Not everybody does, but I know how to as well. I'm trained in disaster prep and basic first aid and CPR because of my parents being first responders and my mother's a retired nurse. Trying to think what else would be good, and keep extra drinks. I always take flavored water when I go out. We always take our drinks with us. Have something to drink, not pop or coffee only. Have water to supplement that, because anything caffeinated will dehydrate the hell out of you. Keep some Gatorade in your car. If you keep your car in your house, in your garage, in the cold, it may not be such a good idea. Keep non-perishable snacks like biscuits, cookies, crackers, protein bars, that sort of thing in your car or your purse. And some chocolate's always good to have too if you like that. And hard candies. Keep your medications within reach of an emergency in case something does happen. Make sure your meds are filled as needed, because if you're stuck in a winter storm, you need to, if you run out of your meds, you're in trouble. Keep extra food for your dog or any animal, like pets you have, indoor, outdoor, or livestock, and medication and anything important they have. Keep that stuff well stocked as you can. And keep all your over-the-counter meds well stocked, and your personal care things. Keep all that well stocked in the event you're in a blizzard for days. And make sure if you can afford to, stock up on non-perishable goods in case your power goes out. That way you could crack open a can of Chef Boyardee or something that you could eat out of a can or a container that's non-perishable. Then you have food for a while. And if you know how to use a camp stove outside, that's an option, but the cold can be a problem depending on the weather. But you really want to be able to, basically, if there's a power outage, you're probably going to have to survive on emergency rations if you have them, or non-perishable canned food. I keep that stuff stocked, and I eat it throughout the year and rotate it, some of it that I'm allowed to. And even a can of soup, you can eat it out of a can. And my thing is Chef Boyardee and SpaghettiOs, like a little kid. But I call that disaster prep. My father used to eat sea rations out of the can in Vietnam. And I joke and call it sea rations because he said it reminds him of that. So, because my dad's a Vietnam vet. And also, keep bottled or purified water that you can drink on hand in your basement or wherever. If you don't have one in your garage or whatever, then you have emergency drinking water if you can't get it from the tap for a while. Keep stuff like that well stocked. Let me see. Keep plenty of flashlights on hand too, and there's never such thing as too many backup power packs. And whether they have wireless charging or not, because you always want to keep your cell phone charged, because that's sometimes, depending on what kind of landline system you have, if you use one, a cell phone will be reliable longer, most likely, before a VoIP landline system. Now the analogs, it may depend, because residential comes after businesses and emergency people and medical. They go by priority when they bring out services back. But a text message is more likely to go through than a call if you have texting. And if you have one of the new phones, like certain iPhone models or the S25 Ultra, you also have the option. I don't have anything like that right now, but you have the option for satellite messaging in an emergency. If there's no cell service or power, but you have power on one of those, you can do that. Or if you have a satellite radio or a ham radio, that's all your communication you're going to have. One thing I would recommend if you're special needs like me, have both digital and physical ways of entertainment. I have plenty of books I stock up on, art supplies, crafting. I have flameless candles I keep with batteries that are AA, AAA, stuff like that, or C or D. Have those stocked that take common batteries like that and keep the batteries stocked for emergencies. And I have some rechargeable ones from Eneloop for certain things. And I crochet and draw and read and stuff like that. So you're going to have some entertainment if you have things like that to do, or toys to play with if you're a kid or you like toys. And fidget toys, that's come in handy. I stock up on stuff like that, or toys you can build with, like Lego sets and stuff. Because kids aren't going to understand, or special needs people may not understand what's going on, and they may be out of their routine. And if there's any directions given out by emergency personnel in any disaster, follow them meticulously. Have all your important documents in a folder in one place that you can grab quickly if possible, and scan them digitally if you can. I have a photo scanner I have done stuff like that with. So, and you can even do it with your cell phone if that's not affordable. So these are some disaster prep tips for winter, and I will add more as time goes on. Have a good night.